Hey guys, welcome back to Admiral Reviews. So we're going to do another episode of the most misused techniques in anime. So like the last episode, we're going to be talking about another technique from the series of Naruto. And unlike the last episode where we talked about shadow clones, which I will leave a box in this video as well as the link in the description, this technique hasn't really been seen so much throughout the series in Naruto, like the shadow clone jutsus. So the technique that I'm going to be talking about today is the Tsukuyomi technique. So I would like to mention something before we get into the details of this. I will not be mentioning the infinite Tsukuyomi in this video, as the infinite Tsukuyomi requires a whole different set of objects in order to cast that technique. The Tsukuyomi requires a Mangekyo Sharingan, while the infinite Tsukuyomi requires a Sharin Rinnegan. And as we can tell, they're not the same thing, so we will not be mentioning that in this video. So moving on. Let's first start by talking about Tsukuyomi's name. Tsukuyomi, or in English, Moon Reader, is based off the Japanese mythological god of the moon. Tsukuyomi in Japanese lore was associated with time, which is probably why the technique has to do with time manipulation. Now this would be a perfect time to get into the ability of Tsukuyomi. The user of Tsukuyomi is granted the ability to cast a genjutsu, where the victim is put into an illusion where the caster is able to manipulate time. What may seem like days or even years could be a couple of seconds. While in this illusion, all senses are active, which makes the illusions very lifelike. Now, as I said before, this technique has not been shown as much as the last technique I talked about in my last video, because of the fact that there's only been shown one user of the Tsukuyomi, and that would be Itachi Uchiha. Itachi Uchiha has shown us the power of Tsukuyomi only a few times in the series, but by those few times were no laughing matter by any means. Itachi Uchiha used this technique as a torture method, as when he put Kakashi, the fucking future 6th Hokage, into the technique and had him feel the pain of being stabbed by swords constantly for 3 days, when in reality he was only under the technique for a couple of seconds, leaving him in a coma. God damn! Now if you count light novels as canon, Itachi Uchiha has used this technique in more peaceful ways, as when he used it on Azumi Uchiha. Itachi was able to put her in a realistic illusion where her and Itachi could grow old together and live their lives out peacefully. What seemed to her to be about 80 years was about only a fraction of a second, which puts an extraordinary amount of stress on the mind, which resulted in her death. Well, maybe I shouldn't have said peaceful way, but it's peaceful for this technique. Now I know this technique does seem invincible, but there are some ways to negate it. The first way is to avoid eye contact. In order to cast the technique, the user has to make eye contact with the person. So if the victim never meets glances, the ability can't be used. Second, and this is stated by Itachi, that only the Sharingan of the same blood can dispel the Tsukuyomi while trapped in it. Which means the only person who can escape this technique while in it, in the whole fucking story, is Sasuke Uchiha. Oh my god. Here's where I start to think the technique's being misused. With a technique like this, Itachi could have been one of the most feared interrogation ninjas of all time. He could have had a person feeling like they were being interrogated for 10 years, when in actuality they only would have been in the room for a matter of 10 seconds. And Itachi would have never even had to say a word. And in regards to the pain invasion, Itachi could have probably figured out the mystery behind pain and his abilities in no less than 2 seconds. Itachi could have even used this technique to find a more diplomatic solution between the Uchiha clan and the Konoha village. Itachi could have had the leader of the Uchiha clan and the Hokage spend more time thinking of the decision that they were about to make. This would have let Itachi not have to make the decision to slaughter his entire clan and live out his life as a regular shinobi. And finally, Itachi could have used this technique so that he could have told the whole side of his story to his brother Sasuke, so that Sasuke wouldn't have had to grow up enduring so much anger. I know, he was doing this to make him stronger, but also led Sasuke down a very dangerous path where he could have been killed multiple times. So that's all I gotta say about this technique. I would really like to know how y'all feel about the technique and how it was used in the series. And in regarding to this whole most misused techniques in anime, I'm going to try and upload them every week, but I'm not going to do another Naruto series. I'm probably going to try and choose a technique from another anime series next time, so you don't have to worry about me keep going on about Naruto and Naruto. So if you follow me to the end of the video, I really appreciate it. I really appreciate all the people that watch these videos and, you know, show love. So thank you. Hey guys, did you like the video? Please, if you did so, please hit that like button. If you have any questions you would like to ask, please put them down in the comments section. I'll be willing to answer any question that you have. And if you like what I'm doing with the channel and you want to see more, please hit that subscribe button so you'll be notified on my future videos. And other than that, all I gotta say is have a nice ass day.